Hello, dear beautiful souls. Thank you for taking the time to visit my YouTube channel, Soul Liftication, where we lift our souls to transcend toxic relationships. Today's episode is a topic that is very near and dear to my heart and soul, not only because I've experienced it myself, but also because of seeing others going through it as well. If you're not familiar with Dr. Ramani, I highly recommend that you look up her video that was published on February 17th, 2022, titled Relationship Issues: Normal versus Narcissistic Relationships. Although I do not have permission to link her video here, Dr. Ramani is one of my top go-tos for educating myself about narcissistic abuse and recovery. She is a licensed clinical psychologist, and in my opinion, she is a pioneer in the mental health field on dealing with this personality disorder. In this particular video, when she is pointing out the clear differences in a healthy or normal relationship versus those with a narcissist, she made the statement, "When your brain gets hijacked," which really hit home for me. Even though it's been years since I've freed myself of the trauma bond and escaped my last narcissistic relationship, I can still remember the sensation of my mind being clouded while under the influence of the narcissistic haze, as she calls it. The trauma bond is real. Cognitive dissonance is real. And there are documented symptoms that occur when a person is subject to this type of mental and emotional abuse over a period of time. It's not uncommon for a person to develop PTSD and experience negative changes in their memory, emotions, and thinking. It really is a strange phenomenon when you are tangled up in the clutches of the trauma bond. I remember always feeling as though I was somehow obligated to the narcissist, even when I wasn't in his presence. It's as if you develop this unexplainable sense of loyalty that you are bound to, even though it usually doesn't make any sense. And there's also a feeling of fear that goes along with it, which almost seems as though they're in your brain and they can read your thoughts. It can feel very scary at times. So I do believe in synchronicity, and I believe that everything happens for a reason. And this has been a topic I've been wanting to dive into myself regarding the differences of what a healthy or non-toxic relationship can look like versus a narcissistic or otherwise abusive one. Now, do we all have the potential to act in a not nice way to our partner if we're under a lot of stress or having a bad day? Absolutely. I, for one, have no authority to diagnose anyone as a narcissist or having any other type of personality disorder. In fact, you will never hear me call myself any type of an expert or a guru on any subject, really, because I really feel as though none of us is above or below anyone else. We just have different levels of awareness, and that's why I consider myself an awareness guide. So, again, I'm not saying that everyone is a narcissist who, has an off day and treats someone poorly. Some people are just selfish, self-absorbed jerks. But do you want to be in a relationship with someone who's a selfish, self-absorbed jerk? Well, that's up to you, dear souls. But the problem really arises when you begin to see ongoing patterns of behavior for which there never seems to be any solution. Or even if there appears to be one, it is short-lived and no true resolution is ever achieved. I really want to get real with you all here today. I don't want to spend too much time on my own story right now. I'll be sharing that at some point in a future episode. but I can tell you that being raised in a narcissistic environment, you really enter into the world of dating and relationships having absolutely no idea what a healthy relationship even looks like. Now, not everyone who gets tangled up in a narcissistic or toxic relationship has been raised in a dysfunctional family dynamic. But chances are that you grew up in a way where you mostly felt insignificant or invisible, and you were never given permission to have your own opinions about anything. You got to a place where you feel you have no voice. But I am here today, dear souls, to tell you that you do have a voice, and you do deserve to be heard and seen and have your feelings be validated. And when your brain gets hijacked, it really is an eerie, almost insidious phenomenon, how it seems that the narcissist almost has a way of digging into our brains. I can't count how many times that my thoughts or actions seem to be controlled by some invisible force, that the narc somehow knew what I was thinking, and I couldn't say or do that because they wouldn't approve. It is, in my opinion, like a form of brainwashing. It really is. You are not crazy if you are feeling this way in your relationship. You've been trained into a conditioned response. The first step is recognizing it. It will seem very surreal when you first start to discover that the insane merry-go-round of drama you've been living has a name. It's called narcissistic abuse. If you are just now realizing for the very first moment that you may be in this type of situation, please remember that you, and only you, are in control of your life, and you don't need to live under anyone else's rule. Relationships are supposed to be a healthy balance, not a monarchy. And if you are, in fact, in a relationship with a narcissist or any other highly toxic person, there is always only one king or queen. And the scales will always be tipped in an unbalanced way and never in your favor. Up until about several years ago, I had spent most of my life feeling as though I really didn't matter and I was invisible. And no matter what I did, no one was really hearing me. This is something that doesn't always happen on a conscious level. That's why it is so important for us to begin to value ourselves first on a conscious level, even though it will seem completely foreign and beyond uncomfortable in the beginning. I'll be honest, I felt like a complete idiot when I first started to use positive self-talk to increase my self-esteem, or lift my soul as it would come to be. When I embarked on this journey of self-compassion, self-love, and forgiving myself, that negative voice in my head was screaming back at me and telling me that I was a worthless idiot, and no matter what I do, it would never be good enough. I remember getting to a place of complete despair and hopelessness. Sometimes we need to hit rock bottom as a catalyst for standing up for ourselves and reaching a threshold of saying, I am not going to tolerate this anymore. Again, dear souls, I'm hoping to be a beacon who's shedding some light and encouragement if you are currently in this type of situation. I want you to know right here and right now that you do deserve better, and no one ever deserves to be abused. If you are in that place, please know that you are not alone and there is a way out. You deserve to live a happy, abundant, fulfilled life. You are not meant to live under the control of someone else's unstable emotions and ever-changing narratives. It's a horrible feeling to be in a relationship when you feel like you're so confused that you don't know which way is up, and you never know what you're going to get when dealing with your partner. So you end up living in a place where you spend every day walking on eggshells and being afraid to speak because you don't want to say anything to set them off and experience their wrath. That is not a healthy relationship, dear souls. If you're here today, there is a reason. Chances are either you yourself or someone you know and care about could be experiencing something like this. Or it could be your time to find yourself again. A healthy relationship is where two people maintain their individual identities and have a mutual and loving respect for each other's boundaries and feelings. Since my first awareness of narcissistic abuse in 2015, I've educated myself a lot on the subject. Again, Dr. Ramani has been beyond impactful for me in my understanding of this disorder. We all want to believe that we can cure the narcissist with love, and you don't have to take my word for it. I've added some links in the description below with some articles regarding the disorder from some reputable sources. And I also came across a video from about 10 years ago titled How to Spot a Narcissist, which really gave me a good laugh. So to lighten the mood, I would recommend you watch that one too. So I did try very hard to cure my narcissistic partner with love for almost 10 years. Almost 10 years of my life that I felt I had lost, spent running on an endless hamster wheel of trying to please and appease a person who is literally like a bottomless pit and can never be satisfied. I had completely lost myself and my identity. It's been a long road, but I'm here today to tell you that healing and recovery are possible. It all starts with a decision that you are no longer going to tolerate the way that you've been living. I'd love to hear your comments if you have any questions or any other topics that you would like me to cover regarding this subject. I do offer one-on-one coaching and a free 30-minute clarity call for anyone who is interested in working with me. As always, please remember to like and subscribe to my channel and share with anyone who you think might benefit from my content. I hope I've provided value and clarity to anyone who is listening here today. Thank you again for being here. Always stand up for yourself.